Whoopsie-daisy, you just caught us having a little chit-chat. Hello, it's Lynn and Rachel, and you are listening to The Content Bite, the podcast for writers and freelancers and, well, anyone who uses their words.
To make money.
To make money.
Yes.
Which is us.
That's us. I'm Lynn Testoni, and I'm a content writer and a journalist.
Rachel Smith, I'm a journalist, copywriter, and the founder of Rachel's List, a jobs board for creatives. So let's get started. We are talking about something that all freelancers will experience at some point.
We call them PITA clients.
Pain in the arse clients.
And how to spot them.
How to spot them and how to manage them as
Yes.
well, which is also really important. So, okay, what makes a client a PITA client?
I think it's a lack of respect for you and your craft. Sometimes it's because they think that you're overpaid, or you're not good enough, or you're not available on Sunday evening at 9 o'clock, or whatever it is. It's the lack of respect.
I agree, it's lack of respect, but I also think in some cases it's real lack of understanding about how freelancers work and understanding what you do and how you do it, and also just being really entitled, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thinking or thinking that you should work on to their terms and and kind of like a staff member as well, I think.
Oh yes, without any of the benefits. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can find these in clients or in editors, I think. So yeah.
I think we've found them both across the board.
We've got long blacklists. Yeah. Okay. So what are some main things that give you those red flags?
I think quibbling about price right from the start.
Or asking for your rates without even saying this is
what do you do?
Yeah.
Or what do you need? Or
massive red flag.
Yeah, when they start to say they try and screw you down on price right at the beginning, I just think that's a sign, because usually it means basically back to they don't value you or respect you or what you do. That's always a sign. And then sometimes, usually the people who argue about the price are the ones who then argue about your invoices at the end, which is so tedious.
Yeah. I definitely think the whole time thing, taking ages to make a decision. I recently had a client, a more of a prospect really, a lead, come to me, want me to do all this thing. I did the quote. He, accepted it. We moved, and we were moving towards, signing off and getting all the work. But then he just disappeared and ghosted me for 3 weeks. And I thought, well, okay, I just kind of, structured my time around starting his project. What do you do? Of course, I took on other projects. Yes. Then he was back saying, hey, I'm ready now. And there's that sort of lack of, respect for your time. It's back to the respect thing.
Yeah.
Or they can't make a decision, so it drags on.
Sometimes I find with some of the corporates, there's one particular corporate I don't work for anymore, because everything had so many layers of approvals that it took really hard. You have to be a big agency to manage that sort of layout. Like as a single person working for yourself, everything had to go through legal. So you'd write something that was really SEO enabled, but go through legal and come back unrecognisable. And I just sort of think, I don't really want to do this. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. It's really tricky, because some clients, I think on the responsive things, some clients can be, projects do blow out and they can take forever for you to get to the end of the project. And I've worked on so many like that. But in the midst of that, it's a good client if they recognise that, things are not as they should be, and they're apologetic about it, and they're kind of understand that you have taken on other things, so they are very flexible. And
they communicate. They don't ghost you.
Yeah, so of course some projects you want them to end so you can get paid, or you want them to sort of wrap up so you can move on to the next thing. And often that doesn't happen. Like, projects are messy, things change, scope changes, parameters change. And
especially big ones, not like one-off articles, but if you're rewriting a big website or a big slab of content, like I've done 50 pieces of content for one client, and that did take longer and it stretched, but that's okay. That happens, and I was communicated with the whole time that we're a week behind.
Yeah.
Or can you do this bit and we'll do that bit later.
Yeah.
And so the communication is good.
Absolutely. And those types of clients, I don't mind that, because if I then have to say to them, well, I'm really sorry, I know that blew out, but I now am on another project until X date. And they go, that's fine, we'll pick up on the X date.
Yes.
You know, that's fine with me. I just need them to be flexible, even if they're disorganised or have other things going on. So that's fine. It's also that lack of response when you're in the thick of the project as well.
Oh, yes.
You know, so you need sign off on things and you can't move forward. And if you can't move forward,
waiting for critical information from the client that you can't find yourself.
Yeah. And that can also, why is that problematic? Well, because you can't get to a point where you're actually going to get paid for that milestone.
Yes.
Which is really annoying, and it's not your fault. And I think that what can also happen in that case is if the client is unresponsive and they miss milestones, not only are you finding your payments are being delayed, but if you've got other stuff kind of butting up against those jobs, that can sabotage those jobs, you know, with other clients.
So messy.
It gets so messy.
So generally, recognising somebody who operates like this, you find it and in the original quoting process. So we've all had those moments when we've known this person or this company is going to be difficult. And then when you're in the thick of it, you wish you'd listened to your gut. Is that it?
Your freelance intuition.
You just know. So I always say, listen to your gut. When it's difficult, you say there's a point right at the beginning. If the process you just know when it's not just an IT issue or a timing issue. You just know when it's actually a structural issue, and that's the time to say maybe this is not the right project for me.
There's also something that came up on the Freelance Jungle. Did you see someone posted something? It was the new customer checklist from Collect More. So Collect More is a website and kind of a service where if your invoices are late, they're like a debt collector service. So you can ring up, I think the guy's Paul.
Yes.
I forget his second name.
No, but Paul, everyone raves about him.
Everyone knows Paul.
He's very good.
He can get you thousands of dollars back within minutes. I don't know how he does it, but apparently he's brilliant. I haven't had to use him yet,
I haven't.
But he's in my back pocket if I ever need him. And he did something that he put on his blog called the new customer checklist form. And it was really interesting because it was all about, you know, do you actually sign on a client and onboard them and, you know, without actually doing a bit of research about that client. And so this form is a really great way to check on the client, you know, check on their background a little bit, and also, you know, you tick boxes as to whether the client accepted your quote or did they quibble. The client has paid your deposit or did they quibble, you know, and so you can sort of get those red flags up front and determine whether you want to move on with the project.
A
so
good
that's good
policy always is to Google the person and look on LinkedIn of the person, your key client, and then you can see they've only been at the company for 3 weeks. You probably need to have at least another contact of the company and making sure that the company is a proper thing. Check the ABN, some of those really basic things. It's okay if it's a small company. I've worked for small companies. I always get money up front. With a small company, not with corporates. There's usually a process, but you can investigate them through ASIC and things like that. So it's surprising how many big companies are semi-financial, and we don't want that. We want them to be able to pay. It's good to just Google. If you Google a builder and you find that they've been in and out of a small claims tribunal, maybe don't write for them. It's surprising how few people actually do that.
Yeah. I think getting the 50% deposit up front.
Yes.
I know that some freelancers, if the job is under a certain amount, they'll ask for the whole lot up front. That might
under
be 500.
Yeah.
You can ask for the whole lot up front. But if it's under a certain amount, if it's beyond that, like 1,000 or more, you would ask for 50% up front. And that's a really telling way of knowing if that client's going to be good to work for. If they just pay that without a quibble, you know, you're good to go.
Yes, exactly. They've got processes. They're fine. Yeah.
But a lot of them will come back and say, "What? I I don't do deposits, I'll pay for this when it's all done and dusted, and it's like, oh,
and I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
And then you sort of do the work, it's exactly what they want, and then they decide, oh no, I don't like it now.
Yeah.
And that's always the standard pain in the ass person.
Yes. I think we have to talk about clients that these types of clients, bad clients, also will do scope creep. So they'll basically give you a set brief, and then they'll ring you and say, hey, you don't mind doing social media, just a few social media posts for each of those blogs, do you? Or how about you just do the EDM, like it'll only take you a second or whatever, So there's that scope creep as well. And
different boundaries. If you've got boundaries, if you're the sort of clients that will ring you on a Sunday afternoon and want you to fix something immediately, or they call you early in the morning, or get cross if you don't get back to them within like an hour of their email, that's always somebody who encroaches on your time and doesn't respect your boundaries.
Oh my God, there was this fantastic thing on Facebook the other day, and it was was it one of those, like when someone screenshotted a text message they'd been sent from a client, and the client said something like, hi, look, I know that you're going to get to our edits soon, but I just saw that you were at the movies this afternoon on your social media, and I just wondered if you might be also doing some editing this afternoon as well. And I just think, oh my God. So when clients, so that's a red flag, when clients stalk you and send you messages saying, I saw that you were at Nando's.
Yes, never.
Very bad. Don't work for those people. Okay, so how do we handle it if we do end up with a client or an editor like this? What are some ways that sometimes you can't extricate yourself. So,
sometimes you just do it, you get over it, and just next time they call, you're busy.
Yeah.
And you learn from them.
Yeah.
And also you start to trust your gut, and recognise when you haven't trusted your gut and say, okay. So
I think in the case of scope creep, you don't wear that. You actually, you push back on that. If they come to you and say, well, I want, X, Y, and Z on top of what's been agreed, you say, well, no problem. I'm just going to send over a revised quote.
Yeah.
And literally don't even make it anything that is to be negotiated.
It's just business.
It's business. You send over a revised quote. If they don't accept it,
That's okay.
Yeah.
I also don't. So if I ever work on the weekends, which I sometimes do to catch up, or because I'm juggling things, I never send emails until Monday.
There's something in Gmail where you can schedule.
You can schedule your emails, but I just tend to write them all and minimise them on my desktop and then send them off on Monday if I do that.
That's smart.
And so don't answer emails at times that if you spend every Friday at the gym every Friday morning, don't check your emails then. And then your clients know, or if you're picking up, if you don't do things after school hours, just don't email them, because they know you're there.
Yeah.
So you have to maintain your boundaries as well.
Absolutely. Boundaries, the big word. Very important. If you need to extricate yourself from a bad client situation,
sometimes you have to send, like, I don't know that this is working. Okay, this is what I've spent. This is the amount of time I've done so far. Here's my invoice.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll suggest, I think we've got a script in our scripts ebook in the toolkit at Rachel's list for this, ways that you can kind of fire a bad client.
Yes.
and the kinds of, scripts that you can use for those situations, because it can be really awkward and it can be really difficult and you can lose sleep over it. I mean, sometimes having someone that you can suggest to that client to pick up from where you left off, or someone who might be a better fit for that client, you can always suggest that and try and, not leave them
sometimes
in the lurch.
I've often talked about how I have a PITA allowance. So sometimes if somebody's really difficult and they still want me, I charge them 30% more.
Yeah, I've done that too. I've actually doubled my rates in some cases, thinking the client is going to go away, and they've accepted it.
And they accepted it, and you think that's okay. Well, I'm happy because you're high maintenance and I'm going to spend a lot more time, and you're paying for that extra time. And as long as they're not obnoxious, and if they're just demanding, I'll just charge them more, because I know it's really basically rewarding you for the extra time that they'll take.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
I think that's fair, and sometimes it does filter them out. Sometimes also another sort of difficult client, not necessarily horrible, but you sometimes take cheaper clients at the beginning of your career, and there's a point when you outgrow them, and then you just sort of, that's the time when you have to say, actually now I'm generally getting this much for this sort of work. Are you happy to do it? Otherwise, let's part ways in a nice way.
Yeah.
Or don't ever work for family.
Yeah, I'm raising my rates. Here they are.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And sometimes, and you say, you know, if you still want this, I might be able to refer you to somebody who's at their beginning of their career.
Yep. Fantastic. Okay. We are going to get out of here, but thanks for listening.
And we should mention our Facebook group, which we haven't. So we've got a Facebook group for the
We're very
content.
bad at mentioning our Facebook group.
So we have a Facebook group, Facebook page called The Content Bite, and we'll put our show notes in there. Or you can contact Rachel and I through that, or through our Gmail account, which is thecontentbite@gmail.com.
Yes. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.